Hi, I'm Dani Carter-Iddens, creator of Taking Back You. My vision for Taking Back You was simple. I wanted to create a safe place for mamas to focus on the dreams that have been placed on their hearts, where they could walk alongside other mamas who get and give advice on how to do this mom thing. I want to tell mamas what I wish someone had told me, and to build a community of mothers who aren't afraid to reach for the stars, even while holding their children in their arms. Want to learn more? Visit takingbackyou.com, because at Taking Back You, we know happy moms raise happy kids. You are listening to the Taking Back You podcast, hosted by Dani Carter-Iddens. Taking Back You is a witty, authentic, and sometimes sarcastic show for young mamas who are trying to reclaim themselves while fully entrenched in motherhood. Hello. This is Taking Back You Momcast, and I am your host, Dani Carter-Iddens. I'm so glad that you are here today. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking all about asking for what you want. So, mamas, let me ask you just like a real question. How often do you really ask for what you want? Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, I do all the time. I totally do. I ask for what I want all the time. It's just that no one ever gives me what I want, and it's really annoying. Well, let me pose it to you like this. How often are you actually asking for what you want in a clear and concise way? So let me give you an example. Probably you've said one of these things in your life. You've probably said, like, to your kids, clean your room, which, seems pretty clear in your brain, right? You're like, go clean your room. Or, you say, I wish I wasn't the only person around here. Whoever cleaned up this house or whoever did the dishes, it'd be awesome if other people helped me. You feel like you're asking for help, right? You're that I hear it and I'm like, yeah, you're asking for help. But let me, throw something in there for you. A lot of times you think you're communicating what you want, but you really aren't. What you're kind of doing is you're not making clear statements about what you actually want or what you need. What you're doing is you're dropping hints. You might be making defensive statements. You might be, passive aggressive or sarcastic, or you make demands. You tell your kids, clean your room or else. And, they might do it, but, they do it begrudgingly. And then you end up, kind of fighting with them because you're like, dude, I've asked you to clean your room 100 times. What's up? Why haven't you done it? And you feel like you're asking for the same things over and over again. You're asking for what you want, but you're not getting it. Or if you do get it, it's just really difficult. It's an uphill battle. I'm the great champion of making defensive statements. I do that all the time. Like I'll say, well, I mean, I did this, and this. I don't know why no one else can, help out. And yes, I'm trying to express to my family that I feel like I've done a lot of things and I need their help, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, hey, can you help me? I am giving, kind of the back door, back answer to all of that. And I thought about it and I thought, why do we do this? And especially women. Women, I feel like we are very, very quick to kind of, take ourselves out of the asking for what we want game, or we feel like uncomfortable about it, or we feel weird about it. One of my friends, I told her when something, I can't remember what happened, but it was weird, and I said, oh, that just makes me feel like itchy. And she said, yeah, like that's right, like it makes you feel itchy, and you're just like, I don't know why. And like sometimes asking for what you want feels like itchy, it feels weird. And so I thought about it and I thought, well, why is that? And then I realized, from a really young age, girls, women, we are taught that, it's selfish or even rude to ask for what you want. you know, we might say like, I want this, or I don't like this, or any of those things are basically saying what you do want. If you're saying you don't want something, that's by, its very nature saying what you do want. But I think that, I I was taught, and I feel like this happens for a lot of women. I was taught that being, directed, forceful, forceful, and having like a direct request is like rude. You know, if you know what you want and you ask for it, people might actually end up thinking that you're either like not a nice girl, or that you're pushy, or that you're, not the person that they want around, not the girl that they want around, because you're not going with the flow. How many times have we been told that? Girl, just go with the flow. It's fine. I know you want to do this, but this is what we're all doing. So, like, just get over it. This is what we're doing. And I mean, yeah, that's great and everything. But what happens when there's something that you really want to do? What happens if there's someplace that you really want to go? Or, I don't know, even just going to see a movie or going to your favorite restaurant. I know people, I know women in my family who, to get them to tell us what they want is just like the hardest thing you will ever do in this lifetime. We cannot get it out of them. Like we just can't. And it's not even, these aren't life changing decisions. We just want to know if you want to go to Maggiano's or, Taco Bell, which obviously is not a choice. That's easy. We're going to Maggiano's. But my point is that, that's what happens a lot for a lot of women, is that they take themselves out of the, equation, and then they just kind of do what everybody else is doing, and they never actually say what they want. Have you ever just said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You can come with me if you want, but this is what I'm doing. And the end. Like, you didn't ask permission. We always ask permission. I feel like every time we want to do anything, we have to double check with somebody else. But, what if you just were like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I'm going to go do. And I'll see you when I'm done, and the end. And you didn't wait for what anybody thought or anybody's response. Doesn't that just sound marvelous to you? Well, it sounds amazing to me too. And so I thought about, how can we be more clear with our language, and how do we really ask for what we want, and how do we do it in such a way that it doesn't come off as selfish or as rude, but we are getting what we want, or a lot of times what we need. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, I want a Prada bag. I don't need a Prada bag. But what I'm saying is that, if I do need help around the house, I do need help, doing things in my, family. And so that's what I mean, is how do we ask, but not alienate, I love my saying. So this week is ask, but not alienate. And, we probably, if we're being honest, we do a lot of those things that I said. We drop hints. And the men aren't very good at the hints. So we should probably just stop dropping hints, because they're not picking up what we're putting down, sisters. They just aren't. So let's just let that go. And being passive aggressive or being sarcastic. Some people just I am like the most sarcastic person ever. I literally just dripping with sarcasm. But you know what? Here's what's crazy. Some people honestly don't get sarcasm. Like, they don't get that you're joking, or, that you're making a snide remark. And then then it's weird. Then it's itchy. See? And then you're like, oh, okay, this was uncomfortable for everyone involved. Okay, cool. So maybe when you're trying to figure out, how to ask for what you want, drop the sarcasm, because it doesn't always play well to all the audiences. And then, making demands is cool. And yeah, I mean, you tell your kids exactly what you want, and you think that making demands is, being clear and concise. But the problem is that it's mean and it doesn't inspire action. You know what I mean? Um, and you can say to your kids, clean your room, but the thing about it is that what if you could make it so that you didn't even have to like yell at them to clean their room? What if you could just be like, hey, it's Thursday, and so let's go do the Thursday things. Cool. And then they clean their room and everybody's happy and we all eat cookies. I don't know. What you want to think about is that when you say stuff like clean your room, or I wish I wasn't the only one who's doing the housework around here, I wish everybody else in this family contributed and even half of what I did. I think that was a winner from my greatest hits from a few weeks ago. You are basically making it more about what the person is or isn't doing, but you're not really expressing what you actually need. So let me back up. When I say clean your room, I'm not just, like, I got to have a clean room or else I don't know what's going to happen. The sky will fall or whatever. What I'm saying is that time management and just the flow of our home works better when we know where everything is. So we keep things clean so that we can find them quicker. Um, you know, every Sunday, I put my son's clothes out for the entire week. And you can imagine how fast it goes when I have the big pile of laundry on the couch that I have yet to fold, and I've got to like jump in that big pile of laundry and, like make socks and underwear and Spider-Man and Star Wars shirts just appear from, the great pile of laundry from beyond. Or if everything's already hung up and folded and put away, all I have to do is walk over to the sock drawer and grab 5 pairs of socks, walk over to the underwear drawer and grab 5 pairs of underwear, walk over to the closet and grab 5 shirts, walk over to his dresser and grab 5 pairs of jeans or pants or whatever. Just think about the amount of time one takes over the other. Now, when you are asking for what you want, you need to convey that to the people that you're asking. So instead of saying, clean your room or whatever, say, hey, remember how it's like way easier to find stuff when everything is put away? And your kid will go, yeah, okay. Well, listen, how about we keep things clean so that we can find stuff and it takes less time to do things. So because then when we do that, we have time to do other stuff. So now you are expressing to them what you want. You want them to clean their room, but you're also giving them a reason. And it's like a good reason. It's not just like a demand. Think about it when your parents used to yell at you and tell you and give you like commands and demands. You hated doing those. But when they would sit down and talk to you, like you were a person, and they would explain to you, hey, this is what I need you to do and this is why, more than likely you were like, well, okay. And you went and did it, no problem. That's the difference. That's the communication. That's how you want to communicate to people. You want to say, hey, this is what I need you to do and this is why. That same, okay, I wish I wasn't the only person doing all the dishes or I don't know, whatever, cleaning this house. What you're really saying is, I need help. I have too much to do. I have too much on my plate. I need some of y'all to step in and help me out. But when you make a passive aggressive statement like that, your family or your friends or whoever you're asking help for, they just hear, Dani says, I do nothing around here. Dani says she's the only person that does anything and the rest of us are useless. Whereas if you say, hey, listen, I appreciate what you guys do. I'm just wondering if you can maybe help me out a little bit more because I've got a lot of stuff going on. So I kind of need all hands on deck. More than likely your family will go, okay, yeah, sure. What do you need me to do? Make it more clear. Communicate more clearly. When we get back, I'm going to give you my 4-step process. And I say it's a 4-step process, and it happens quickly. It's not like you have to, we're not like Rocky here and like there's no montage. It's a quick process, but it's a good process to go through to make sure that you are asking for what you want in such a way that you're going to get it. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. Like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. I love Anchor because I was up and running in a couple of hours. You can even record your episodes on the go using their super friendly Anchor app. So, if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. And we are back. Welcome. This is Taking Back You Momcast. And today we are talking about how to ask for what you want. And right now I'm gonna drop some like knowledge on you. And some you're literally gonna walk away from this podcast just like asking for what you're gonna be like a pro, the ask for what you want pro. I'm gonna give you 4 super, super easy, quick things that I do when I am trying to figure out how to ask for what I want. Because I was told at a young age that what was the word? Was forceful. So like I've had to learn how to pull back and maybe learn how to communicate and convey myself in a way that doesn't sound forceful. But I also want to make sure that you understand that it's okay to ask for what you want. You just got to ask for it the right way. So first thing I want you to do, I want you to figure out what you really need. So dig a little deeper. So like I said, in my examples before the break, I'm saying clean your room. But what I'm really asking is that we keep stuff tidy so that it doesn't take as long to do the things that we need to do because we're not looking all over the place for stuff. So actually figure out what you really need. When you are, you have a friend that doesn't respond to your text message. You send them a text message, you ask them a question, they don't respond. Okay. And then you send them another text message and you're like, hey, did you get my other text message? That's not the question. The question is, hey, I sent you a text earlier today, wanted to make sure you got it because I'm trying to figure out A, B, C, D. So now you explain to them what happened in the past, what you asked them, and why you asked them that. So now you've actually told them what you need and you figured out, okay, great. You didn't answer my question. I'm not going to sit here and play the game of like maybe she's upset because I asked the question. No, you don't have time for that. You just say like, hey, this is what I actually need. Then you're going to figure out how to ask for it. Okay. So dig a little deeper and then figure out how to get that. Okay. So, when when your spouse is telling you about your parents or telling you about their parents and you just go, I don't want to hear about your parents right now. I don't want to hear about your mom right now. Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't, but that's not really like the way to ask for it. To ask for your spouse to like be quiet. The maybe a better way would be like, hey, you know what, I have a lot on my plate right now, and I'm not, so I'm not able to give the full attention to you in this story or whatever that I want to give you. Let me get done doing what I'm doing or whatever, and then can we sit down and talk about this in 20 minutes, an hour, whatever your time frame. That way what you're doing is you are validating them, but you're also asking for the time that you need. You're asking for what you want. And sometimes when you have spouses, you can't get out of it. You got to listen to what they're saying, but but you can maybe compartmentalize and say like, hey, I need this time right now, can you give that to me? And they will more than likely be like, oh, okay, cool, well, yeah, we'll talk in a couple hours, not a big deal. Or if it is a big deal, that's also your way to figure out that, hey, this is really important. I need to drop everything because this is what they need. I've told them what I need, and they've said, yeah, I totally get that. Ordinarily, I wouldn't care, but we need to talk about this right now. And then, so now, everybody understands everybody. And I gave you the magic words in that statement. So the third step is using the magic words. And the magic words, you ready? These are the magic words. They are, would you be willing? Would you be willing? Now, a lot of times we say, can you please do this? Can you please do that? Can you please take the trash out? Can you please whatever? And the thing is that think about those two phrases. So would you be willing to take the trash out for me today? Or can you please take the trash out tonight before you go to bed? Think about those two questions. They're two questions. They're explaining what you want done. And you're even saying please. Good girl, you're saying please. But think about how you feel when you hear the first statement versus how you feel when you hear the second one. If someone says, hey, would you be willing to take the trash out? That is taking into consideration what, I'm doing. Like, they're basically saying, hey, I know you're doing something right now. I know you're busy right now, but would you be willing to go do that for me? Because I need that done. When someone says, can you please? It almost seems like you aren't doing anything. You haven't been doing anything for them. And can you just this once in your life go do this thing so that we can all move on? That might not be the intention behind how the person has asked you or how you're asking, but that's kind of how it comes off. So, if you are asking in such a way that is, more creating more of a connection, you're letting the person know, hey, I know you got things that you got going on and I got things that I got going on, but I was just wondering if you would be willing to do this for me. More than likely, they will say yes. More than likely. And sometimes it's just the way that you ask for what you want. Being clear, yes, clear language, but also just communicating. And then finally, my last step is to just keep practicing. You will get better at this. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out what you really need and then to figure out how to ask for it. It can be really difficult. There's a lot of games that get played. And if you know me, I'm not a big game person. I like, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to get it. But my problem is, figuring out how to ask for it in such a way that it doesn't, make the other person feel like, oh, I don't want to do that for you. And that, that's what my problem is. And so you might not be in that step. You might be you don't even know what you want, or you know what you want, but you're afraid to ask because you're afraid that other people will think that you're weird because you asked for it, or you're selfish, or you're rude, or you're dumb, or whatever. And none of those are the case. There is a saying that I always remember, try to, play through my head. I'm going to leave you with this today. And it's, you have not because you ask not. And I believe it's from the Bible. And I'm like 99% sure it's from the Bible. And the thing about the Bible and me is that I love the Bible. I read it all the time, but I didn't grow up with it. So I'm not like those people that can spout off Bible verses, no problem. I'm not that girl. I just have, and I like, they couldn't like say, oh, that's from Genesis. I literally know none of that. I just know like stuff I've heard in the Bible. And yeah, so you have not because you ask not is something that I heard a few years ago. I didn't read it. I heard it because I was like listening through the Bible app, and I just thought that was such an amazing and simple thought. You have not because, well, you didn't ask. The answer, I'm done after this. The answer to every question that you don't ask is always going to be no. That's just it. So don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to tell somebody, hey, this is what I need. I need you to back me up here. I need you to do this for me. I need you to go over here for me. I need you to come with me for this because I'm afraid, I don't know, whatever. It's okay. It really is okay to ask for what you want. And 9 times out of 10, when you ask for what you want the right way, using our magic words, would you be willing? Someone will help you get it. Have a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful spring day, and I will talk to you later.